From the Nasty Boys' chaos in Cincinnati to the Yankees' perfection in New York, the 90s transformed baseball forever. 1990, the Nasty Boys take over. The season kicked off with silence, not from fans, but from lawyers. A lockout froze spring. Hope sat on hold. But when baseball returned, it came swinging. Cincinnati caught fire before the league could blink. Lou Piniella took over and turned chaos into belief. They weren't built on stars, just grit, speed, and fury. Barry Larkin led by calm example. Chris Sabo ran like a man chased by thunder, and in the bullpen waited three maniacs: Dibble, Charlton, and Myers, the Nasty Boys. Oakland walked in like royalty. Bash brothers flexing, dynasty talk everywhere. Then the Reds ripped the crown right off their heads. Jose Rio pitched like revenge itself. The sweep stunned the world. The Reds danced, the A's vanished. Baseball's balance had shifted, and far away in Minnesota, another story was quietly warming up. 1991, the year baseball remembered how to breathe. The decade's quiet miracle began in Minnesota. A year earlier, the Twins were ghosts. 74 wins, no spark, no heartbeat. Then, suddenly, everything clicked. Kirby Puckett smiled like the sun never set. Jack Morris pitched like his career depended on it. The Metrodome roared again. Across the league, Atlanta rose from the ashes too. A last-place team turned juggernaut. Glavine, Smoltz, and Avery threw fire and belief. Terry Pendleton hit his way into legend. The Braves refused to stay irrelevant. And then baseball delivered perfection in the 1991 World Series. 7 games of madness. 5 decided by 1 run. Game 7 went scoreless for 10 innings until Gene Larkin's single ended it. The Twins walked off. Morris threw 10 shutout innings and the dome shook like a heartbeat. 1992, the North takes over. The year began with a whisper from the North. Toronto had waited too long. Every season ended with heartbreak. This time, they were done waiting. Joe Carter swung with thunder. Roberto Alomar moved like poetry. Jack Morris brought fire from the past. The Blue Jays played like men chasing history. They won, but not easily. The Oakland A's still loomed Eckersley unhittable, Stewart unshakable. Yet Toronto broke through. Alomar's home run off Eckersley in the ALCS was a declaration. Across the league, Barry Bonds was brilliant without a reward. His Pirates had one last chance. Game 7, 2 outs, a slow runner named Sid Bream sprinted for home. Bonds' throw came late, the Braves walked off, the Pirates walked away. Then Toronto finished the job. America watched in disbelief. Baseball finally had a champion from Canada. 1993, the moment baseball touched the sky. The North refused to come down from its high. After conquering America once, Toronto returned for seconds, sharper and more confident than ever. Paul Molitor hit like time had slowed for him. John Olerud flirted with 400 all summer. Joe Carter and Roberto Alomar ran the show with calm confidence. The Blue Jays weren't chasing miracles anymore, they were the miracle. Meanwhile, in the National League, Barry Bonds arrived in San Francisco and rewrote the rules of stardom. He hit 46 home runs, stole bases for fun, and carried the Giants to 103 wins. But baseball can be cruel. The Braves won 104. No wild card meant Bonds stayed home in October. Even greatness wasn't enough. Then came the swing that froze time. Game 6, bottom of the 9th. Mitch Williams threw, Joe Carter swung, and Canada erupted. The call echoed forever. Touch 'em all, Joe. The Blue Jays had touched baseball heaven. But what comes after heaven is the fall, and 1994 was waiting with heartbreak. 1994, the year baseball stopped breathing. Baseball finally looked unstoppable. The home runs were flying and legends were forming. In Montreal, the Expos were rewriting destiny. Pedro Martinez was young and fearless. Larry Walker was crushing everything, and that team looked like the future. They had power, speed, and swagger. No one could touch them. Montreal wasn't just good, they were electric. They played with the confidence of champions. And then right when it mattered most, the lights went out. The strike hit like a fastball to the ribs. Everything stopped cold. Tony Gwynn was hitting .394. inches from immortality. The entire baseball world watched as he chased 400. Then, silence. The season was gone. No playoffs, no World Series, just disappointment. The Expos never recovered, and fans turned away. Baseball had promised magic and delivered heartbreak. 1994 was an unfinished sentence. 1995, the year baseball tried to heal. The strike was over, but the wounds were still fresh. Fans felt betrayed and empty seats told the story. Then Cal Ripken Jr. stepped onto the field. Business as usual. He didn't shout or brag, he just showed up every single day. When he broke Lou Gehrig's record, the world stopped to watch. 2,131 consecutive games. A man who never quit even when the sport did. The crowd roared for 20 minutes straight. It wasn't about numbers, it was about faith. Ripken reminded everyone why baseball still mattered. Meanwhile, the Braves were done waiting for respect. Greg Maddux threw pitches that defied physics. Levine and Smoltz backed him like clockwork. They suffocated opponents. In October, they finally finished the job. The Braves became champions, and baseball exhaled again. Ripken gave it soul, and Atlanta gave it pride. 1996, the year the Empire woke up. The Yankees had spent years watching October from the couch. The city was restless and desperate for a spark. Then a rookie shortstop named Derek Jeter showed up and changed everything. He played with calm eyes and clutch timing. Mariano Rivera became the silent storm behind him, untouchable in relief. Joe Torre held it all together like a man who had seen too much. The Yankees weren't a team, yet they were an idea forming. Across the field, the Braves looked unstoppable again. Smoltz, Maddux, and Levine made hitters question their careers. They jumped to a 2-0 World Series lead, but the Yankees didn't blink. Jim Leyritz hit the home run that flipped the decade. Suddenly, New York remembered who it was. They stormed back, won it all, and baseball's next dynasty was born. The Bronx was back, and everyone else felt it. 1997, the Chaos wore a Marlins jersey. Baseball lost its script in 1997. Nobody saw Florida coming. The Marlins were babies in baseball years, a franchise still learning to walk. Then they sprinted straight into October. Kevin Brown threw like he was angry at the air itself. Moises Alou and Gary Sheffield hit like it was personal. They tore through the Giants, then smothered the mighty Braves. The World Series felt like a mismatch. Cleveland had stars, swagger, and unfinished business, but the Marlins refused to die. Game 7 turned into pure chaos. Cleveland led in the ninth, 3 outs away from glory. Then Jose Mesa melted. Edgar Renteria, just 21, poked a single through the middle. Craig Counsell scored, and Miami exploded. The Marlins became champions overnight, then dismantled everything. A dynasty gone before it began. Baseball had found beauty in madness and heartbreak in victory. 1998, the summer baseball found its pulse again. After Florida's madness, baseball needed some healing. Then came Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, who turned every ballpark into a fireworks show. Every swing felt mythic. McGwire crushed moonshots into Big Mac land. Sosa smiled his way through June, hitting 20 home runs in 1 month. Cameras followed every at-bat. America stopped flipping channels. It had become a national drama. While they chased history, another machine was rising. The New York Yankees played like they were from the future. They won 114 games and barely broke a sweat. Derek Jeter became ice in human form. Mariano Rivera ended games before they began. By October, they swept everyone and looked bored doing it. The home run race saved the sport's soul. The Yankees' dominance reminded everyone who owned October. Baseball was alive again and louder than ever. 1999, the year legends refused to age. The storm of '98 rolled into something calmer, wiser, but no less electric. Baseball's old guard wasn't ready to leave. Pedro Martinez made hitters look foolish. His fastball sang, his changeup whispered, and no one could touch him. He won the Triple Crown and struck out everything that breathed. Boston fans called him a magician. Everyone else just prayed they were not next. Meanwhile, in the Bronx, the Yankees were perfection with pinstripes. They steamrolled history. 114 regular season wins turned into another World Series sweep. Derek Jeter was everywhere. Mariano Rivera didn't allow a single earned run in October. The dynasty wasn't rising anymore, it had arrived. From Pedro's domination to the Yankees machine, baseball hit its modern peak. The 90s were closing with brilliance and order, a calm before the steroid storm that loomed ahead.